When we think about the educational journeys we've gone through and what we finally remember from all the mass of information that we have processed and remembered to give examinations, it seems as if we have been fooled, as if an elaborate joke that lasted for over a decade was played on us. We were kept off balance inside closed classrooms, and in the rush to finish arbitrarily designed and excessive curricula, our childhood was lost. We didn't notice the great pulsing of beautiful life forms rising and falling. We had no time to contemplate the great mystery that our lives are. We had no time to relate to other human beings and with nature. Was it possible to do this journey in some other better way? Where we didn't waste our lives so completely, where we actually learned things that would be useful to us in our later lives, where we developed Nirapeksha Atmavishwas as we went through the schooling process? I believe so, and that is what Asli Shiksha is about. But when we talk about Asli Shiksha, you will have to keep an open mind and listen carefully to what I have to say. You see, what I have to say may be something you have not heard before, and it may all sound impractical and strange. But unlike school, where everything you learn has to be accepted unquestioningly and on blind faith, I will ask you to match what I am saying with your personal experience and see if it works for you, and to accept what I am saying only if it makes sense to you. With all that as a preface, let us look at what Asli Shiksha means. Think of a subject that you have always liked and which you learn easily. For me, this subject was physics. When I was in school, I was a member of a library that had many books on popular physics, and I found these books to be more interesting than my textbook that was taught inside the classroom. The textbook had a fixed linear flow, but the popular physics books had small stories and illustrations I could read according to what interested me. Also, it seemed like my outside reading was helping me understand the textbook more easily, even though the textbook was the one with loads of extra information. You can think about your favorite subject and see whether your experience was similar. Based on this story, I'm going to extract some principles that I think will work for all learning. But don't take my word for it. Map it to your life experience before accepting what I have to say. Number 1. I learned best when I was learning things that interested me. The popular physics books were interesting, and the textbook, even in a subject I liked, was something that turned me off. Number 2. The textbook had concepts that were being pushed to me in a sequence and style decided by the textbook writer and the teacher. I was a passive listener, and my receptivity and readiness for the textbook content was not being considered at all. Number 3. In the linear study of the classroom, the teacher was following the way the textbook was structured, and the whole subject became dull and uninteresting. In the popular physics books, I was looking for things that made sense to me and added to what I already knew. This way the subject came alive for me. Number 4. In hindsight, I can now say that when I learned something, the process was contemplative. The rush and distractions that happen in a typical classroom is not very conducive to Asli Shiksha. The read segment of this chapter has a small illustrated booklet called Learning to Learn that talks about the principles of Asli Shiksha in some more detail. I hope you like it.